Have you ever felt tired, but you can't explain why? Not tired from work, not tired from lack of sleep, but tired deep inside. You rest, yet the heaviness remains. You step away, yet the emptiness follows. What if I told you something is draining your spirit without you even realizing it? Welcome to TOPKUNS TV. This message may explain more than you expect. Most people think spiritual drain comes from big problems. But the truth is, it usually comes from small, repeated, unnoticed things. Things you've normalized, things you've learned to tolerate. Things you keep telling yourself you can handle. But your spirit keeps score, even when your mind ignores it. This isn't about some sudden crisis. It's the slow leak, the drip of energy that goes unchecked. Think about a tire with a tiny puncture. It doesn't go flat immediately, but over time it loses all its pressure until it can't move forward. Your spirit works the same way. It's the constant compromise, the little moments of self-betrayal, the habit of putting your own needs last. These are the invisible weights that accumulate. We often dismiss these feelings as just a bad day or stress. But when those days turn into weeks and weeks into months, it's a sign of a deeper exhaustion. Your spirit is trying to tell you that its resources are depleted. The problem isn't that you're weak. It's that you've been carrying silent burdens for far too long. One of the biggest spiritual drains is overthinking. Thinking about what you said, what you should have said, what might happen, what could go wrong. Your body may be still, but your mind is running nonstop. It's like leaving an app running in the background of your phone. It silently drains the battery until you're left with nothing. Overthinking is not intelligence. It is mental exhaustion disguised as responsibility. We convince ourselves that replaying scenarios and worrying about the future is a form of preparation, of being careful. But it's not. It's a cycle of anxiety that consumes your present moment and depletes your inner strength. Your mind gets stuck in a loop, analyzing every detail, every possibility, every past mistake. This mental marathon doesn't lead to solutions. It leads to paralysis. It robs you of your peace and your power to act. And it slowly, quietly drains your spirit, leaving you feeling weary before the day has even truly begun. Unexpressed emotions don't disappear, they settle. Unspoken anger, unreleased disappointment, hidden sadness, quiet frustration. You smile, you function, you keep going. But your spirit is doing emotional labor every day, working overtime to suppress what you truly feel. Imagine carrying a backpack that gets heavier with each unspoken word and each unshed tear. Eventually that weight becomes unbearable. And this emotional weight, when ignored, becomes spiritual fatigue. We learn from a young age to be strong, to not show weakness, to keep our feelings to ourselves. But emotions are energy, and that energy needs to move. When you trap it inside, it doesn't just vanish. It curdles. It turns into resentment, apathy, or a persistent low-grade exhaustion. Your spirit feels weighed down, struggling to keep everything in balance, all while you wear a brave face. It's tough, right? You're holding back a whirlwind of emotions inside, and it can be exhausting. This is one of the most draining jobs in the world, and it's one you were never meant to do alone or in silence. Another silent drain is people-pleasing. When you say yes while your spirit says no. When you adjust yourself to fit others' comfort. When you silence your needs to keep the peace. But peace that costs your inner balance is not peace, it is self-abandonment. Every time you betray your own needs to satisfy someone else's, you send a message to yourself that your feelings don't matter. And the spirit weakens when it is constantly ignored. This isn't about being selfish. It's about self-preservation. You can't pour from an empty cup. People-pleasing often comes from a good place, a desire to be liked, to avoid conflict, to be helpful. But when it becomes a pattern, you start losing pieces of yourself. You become a chameleon, changing your colors to match your surroundings until you forget what your own true color is. Your spirit craves authenticity. It wants you to stand in your truth.
When you consistently prioritize external validation over internal alignment, you create a deep spiritual deficit that no amount of approval from others can ever fill.
Pressure is not always external. Sometimes it's internal. I must succeed. I can't fail. I have no time to slow down. This relentless inner critic drives you forward, but at what cost? Pressure without purpose drains the spirit faster than hard work. When life becomes only about survival, about hitting the next target, about proving your worth, the soul begins to shrink. It forgets how to play, how to rest, how to simply be. Hard work with a sense of meaning can be energizing, but constant, self-imposed pressure is a thief of joy. It turns passions into obligations and goals into burdens. This internal pressure creates a state of chronic stress, a fight-or-flight mode where you're always on high alert. Your nervous system is overworked, and your spirit gets no room to breathe. You might achieve a lot, but you feel hollow inside, because you've been running on fumes driven by fear rather than inspiration. True fulfillment doesn't come from a checklist of accomplishments, but from a life lived with purpose and grace. Have you noticed? Some conversations leave you inspired, others leave you drained. Some people bring clarity, others leave confusion. Not everyone who smiles at you is healthy for your inner world. Spiritual drain often comes from unbalanced emotional exchanges. You give, they take, you feel empty. It's crucial to recognize that your energy is a precious resource. Certain people, often unintentionally, act as energy vampires. They might constantly complain without seeking solutions, demand your emotional support without offering any in return, or create drama that pulls you into their chaos. After spending time with them, you feel depleted, foggy, and heavy. This isn't about labeling people as good or bad. It's about recognizing the energetic chemistry between you and others. Your spirit thrives on reciprocal, uplifting connections. It's essential to surround yourself with people who fill your cup, who challenge you to grow, and who leave you feeling more like yourself, not less. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's a fundamental act of self-care. You can sleep for hours and still wake up tired. Why? Because resting the body is not the same as restoring the spirit. Scrolling endlessly on your phone, escaping into the noise of television, distracting yourself with constant busyness, these are pauses, not restoration. They numb the mind, but they don't nourish the soul. The spirit has different needs. It needs stillness to process. It needs meaning to feel alive. It needs release to let go of burdens. And it needs truth to find its way. True rest for the spirit is an active process. It's about creating moments of intentional quiet. It's about engaging in activities that bring you joy and a sense of purpose, whether that's walking in nature, creating art, meditating, or having a deep, heartfelt conversation. Your spirit doesn't want to be distracted. It wants to be heard. When you constantly avoid silence, you avoid yourself. And the exhaustion you feel is your spirit calling out for a deeper kind of rest, a rest that replenishes you from the inside out. So how do we protect and rebuild our spirit? Here's how healing begins. First is awareness. Start to consciously notice what and who drains you. Keep a mental or physical note. Second, create boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to protect your energy and your time. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are guidelines to let people know how to treat you respectfully. Third is expression. Find a healthy way to release what you carry. Talk to a trusted friend. Journal your thoughts. Cry if you need to. Move your body. Don't let emotions stagnate. Fourth, embrace stillness. Allow silence to heal you. Just 5 minutes a day of quiet without any devices can make a huge difference.
And fifth, reconnect with your purpose. Remind yourself of what gives your life meaning.
What makes you feel alive? You don't need to quit your life. You need to realign with yourself. If your spirit feels tired, it doesn't mean you are broken. It means you've been strong for too long without renewal. It's a sign that you have given more than you have received, that you have carried more than you were meant to bear. It's a call to return home to yourself. Pay attention to what drains you. Protect what restores you. Be gentle with yourself through this process. Healing is not a race. It is a slow, steady journey of rediscovering your inner light, because when the spirit is full, life flows again. The world looks brighter, challenges feel more manageable, and joy becomes accessible once more. If this message touched you, like this video, share it with someone who feels drained and might need to hear this. Comment aware below if you're choosing alignment and ready to protect your energy. And make sure you subscribe to TOPKUNS TV, where we don't just talk about life, we understand it deeply. Protect your spirit. Everything else depends on it.